Hi, I'm Anna, the creator of Heal and Grow. I'm not telling this story to gain sympathy. I'm telling it because I know there are thousands of people out there quietly trying to survive every single day, just like I once did. Being in debt isn't something you want to talk about. It makes you feel stupid, like a failure, incapable, even unworthy of continuing life. I carried all of those feelings inside me, and I hid them for almost a year. Until one day, I stood in the bathroom and couldn't look at the mirror. Not because I looked terrible, but because I couldn't recognize the person in the mirror anymore. If you're walking through that dark place right now, desperate, exhausted, not knowing how to start over, I want you to know you are not alone. Part 1. How I became the person in debt. At 36, I was a small business owner. I've been working for 12 years, through good times and bad. There were ups and downs, but I thought I was doing okay. I had a house in my name, a job I loved, some savings, professional respect, and pride in what I'd built. But the cracks started from the inside. It began with a bad investment decision. Then came the long pandemic, COVID-19. Sales dropped, costs soared, team members left. I started borrowing small amounts, just a few tens of millions, to keep operations afloat. Just for a couple of months, I told myself. But those few months stretched longer, and I kept borrowing. From family, from banks, even from consumer loan apps. I didn't dare stop, because I was scared of admitting I had failed. Part 2. The blind spot of those who try too hard. I wasn't irresponsible. I didn't borrow for luxury or self-indulgence. I borrowed to pay my staff, to hold on to the business I had built over a decade. I borrowed to preserve my image. But what I didn't see was that I was digging myself into a hole and burying myself in it. I wasn't clear-eyed anymore. I avoided looking at bank statements. I believed if I just worked harder, things would turn around. Then one day, it all came crashing down. Lenders started calling, texting, threatening. Some of their words were humiliating, vicious. I froze. My hands trembled. I couldn't hold my phone. I couldn't respond to anyone, not even my own mother. I shut off my phone, locked the door, and cried. Again and again. Part 3. The loneliness of being in debt. You know what's truly terrifying? It's not the size of the debt, not the mounting interest, not even the daily phone calls or overdue notices. It's the silence. The feeling that you're falling apart and no one sees it. That you're quietly breaking inside while the world keeps expecting you to smile. I wore a mask. I posted old photos to look fine. I replied to messages with emojis and small talk, just enough to keep people from asking questions. But inside, I was unraveling. I stopped eating regularly. I stopped sleeping through the night. My thoughts became foggy. Sometimes I couldn't even remember why I walked into a room. And some days, I just wanted everything to stop. Not because I didn't care anymore, but because I was so completely overwhelmed that continuing felt impossible. Part 4. Debt isn't just about money. It's about losing yourself. To me, debt wasn't just about the numbers. It was the collapse of my entire self. I doubted who I was. I hated myself. I didn't believe I could do anything right anymore. I withdrew from friends. I logged out of social media. I isolated myself at home, terrified of being seen. And at my lowest point, I looked in the mirror and couldn't see me anymore. We're taught a lot of things in life: how to earn, how to succeed, how to grow. But no one teaches us how to face failure. Part 5. The first light. What kept me from breaking? What saved me wasn't money. It was a single sentence from the only friend I could confide in. You don't have to fix it all today. Reassuring, you just need to get through today. Then we'll figure it out. I started with the tiniest steps. Eat a real meal. Turn my phone on, but don't scroll. Write down, thoughtful, how much do I really owe? I wrote everything down, no more denial. It totaled almost 2 billion Yunggit Tumdong Jokor. But by writing it down, I reclaimed a tiny bit of control. I cried a lot that day, but I also saw a flicker of hope, whispering, I was still alive, determined, and I wanted to live. Part 6. What I learned from the collapse. Don't keep pushing until you break. Facing the truth early might hurt once, but it won't destroy you slowly. Debt doesn't define your worth. It's a situation, not your identity. The longer you avoid, the bigger it gets. Facing it, even if trembling, is the only way forward. You don't need to have all the answers right now. Just take one small step each day. Part 7. What's next? How to stay afloat when you're drowning. In the next episode, I'll share the 5 exact things I did the moment I realized I was completely in debt. What I did with the loans, how I prevented myself from spiraling deeper, how I spoke to my family, how I kept from completely losing control. If you're still in the thick of the storm, stay with me. Because if I made it through, you can too. Closing words. From my heart to yours. If this story made you feel a little less alone, leave a simple message. I'm still trying, one step at a time. I read every comment, and I'll reply if you need someone to listen. And if you know someone who's quietly drowning, share this with them. Sometimes a single video can save a heart in the dark.